Ocarina of Time is considered to be one of the greatest games in history. Soon to be remade this year, I decided to take on a challenge that almost feels impossible. The rules to this challenge are pretty simple. Every enemy throughout the game is completely random, besides any enemy that is considered a boss. Every enemy has completely random sizes ranging from tiny little ants to towering monsters. This includes boss enemies as well. Also, the enemies can be invisible, and I don't know why. Every enemy in the game moves and attacks 2 times as fast as a normal enemy. This includes bosses as well. I am required to beat the game after completing every dungeon and obtaining their respected medallions. Intentional glitches are not allowed, and I can only have 3 hearts. Now that you know the rules to this challenge, I will be telling you the story about my adventures in Ocarina of Time. Previously, we were able to defeat King Dodongo's little brother and obtain the 2nd spiritual stone. King Darunia informs us that there's a ferry at the top of Death Mountain, so that's where we plan to head to next. Heading my way up Death Mountain, I am able to use the bombs I acquired in Dodongo's cavern to destroy the rocks blocking our way. I stop by this cave to obtain an item that is absolutely essential for progressing. I realize I mixed up the spots though, so I had to head back to the Lost Woods for the spot that I mistaken it for. Inside, I catch a fish within my bottle and begin to head back to the top of Death Mountain. Speed running my way past the falling rocks, I am completely ambushed by one of the Gerudo guards. Oh my god. Get freaking. Okay, yeah, that completely sucked. But what's worse is the fact that she doesn't kill me. Instead, she sends me to the void, and you know what that means. Are you f***ing kidding me? Making my way back up Death Mountain, I am hit with a rock and an invisible fire bat. But finally, I am able to reach the top of Death Mountain and open the passageway that leads to the fairy fountain. In here, the Great Fairy gives us an upgrade to our spin attack, which I was having a little too much fun with. After this, I decide to head into the actual Death Mountain to obtain a gold Skulltula. I then talk to the owl that haunts my nightmares so he can give me a free ride down Death Mountain. Arriving back at Kakariko Village, I started to wonder if I hurt a chicken enough, will it spawn a bunch of random enemies? So I decided to lay out this random chicken, and it turns out that they spawn as normal chickens, but in a bunch of different sizes. So after escaping with my life, I make my way to Zora's River, where I am stopped by the owl. He tells us that Zora's domain is up ahead, and that the door will not open unless I play the melody of the royal family. He then leaves. After this, I buy a bunch of magic beans that I don't think I ever use. I then play Zelda's lullaby to open a passageway that will lead me to Zora's domain. Arriving at Zora's domain, I stock up on some items, head upstairs, and I begin to do the diving game. I successfully complete the diving game, and I acquire the scale. We use the scale to obtain a bottle with a letter inside. I then head back to Zora's domain to show the king the letter. The letter is from his daughter who is trapped inside Jabu-Jabu. With no choice other than letting us save his daughter, he lets us pass, but only after we watch him do this. Yeah, I know, that was pretty brutal, but we got to keep the bottle from it, so I guess it's okay. Finally arriving at Zora's fountain, we use the fish that we caught earlier in our bottle, and this opens our way into the 3rd dungeon. Inside Jabu-Jabu, I immediately was attacked by an ice bat and a Gerudo guard, but I managed to make it through. I then find Princess Ruto inside. She tells us that she never asked for any help and that she never wrote that letter either, and that we're just making things up. She then runs away, forcing us to chase her down, and then this happens. Oh my god, you gotta be fun. No, not this guy. No, not the planes! After managing to escape with my life, we talk to Princess Ruto. She tells us to go home, but we refuse. So instead, she tells us to carry her all the way through the dungeon, which I think is such a stupid. Making our way through, I am completely harassed yet again. Oh my god, this is so annoying. He still killed me, like, and then right after this, I'm completely ambushed right off the start. Oh my, no, not this guy. No, stop. Stop. I'm not fighting you. Why is that gigantic? What am I supposed to do against that? Oh my god, it's like, it's directly in the way! Like, you gotta be joking. Making my way back to Princess Ruto, I finally begin to start escorting her. But before I can do that, I'm forced to reset this room multiple times after seeing all the BS that's being thrown at me. And there's a wolf down here, and I get fucking hit by a bottle. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my god, dude, come on. Get off of me. Oh my god, okay. I'm just running through. And he's it. Are you serious? God. Jesus. Finally making our way through, we are able to take the elevator up, leading to this next part, which is probably the most BS part of this entire dungeon. Oh my god. No! Not this. Not literally anything but this. Please, please. No, I'm running. I'm sorry. No, why does she respawn? So here's the problem with this section. I am forced to carry dead weight while I am harassed by 100 enemies in a linear hallway. And for some reason, the game decides to give me the worst enemies possible every time. Unable to find any hearts, I am killed and forced to restart yet again. Upon entering again for the last time, I am hit by an invisible ice bat. I about had it after this death, so I decided to leave the dungeon. I headed over to Hyrule Castle in search of a spell that I'm going to need. Inside the fairy fountain, the Great Fairy grants me with Din's Fire, which should make the dungeon a lot easier for us. Arriving back inside Jabu-Jabu, I see the horrors that are awaiting us, so I decide to reset the room. Trying to make my way through the dungeon once again, I am completely harassed by a gigantic spider blocking the way, guarded by 2 lizards, forcing me to use Din's Fire right away. This doesn't kill the lizards, but it does get the spider out of my way, making Din's Fire not as OP as you would think it would be, but still pretty good and definitely worth the grab. I use it again to tank some hits and take a couple enemies out on the way. Arriving back at what I call Death Valley, I notice there's some pretty bad enemy spawns, so I decide to reset the room to something I can actually handle. And then this absolute garbage happens. That was just fucking bullshit. I then run into a wolf and a jellyfish in the center, so I decide to use Din's Fire to take both of them out. The jellyfish then spawns in one of the most deadly enemies upon dying, forcing me to run for my life. I somehow managed to run to the complete other side of the room, entering one of the rooms I'm going to need to complete the dungeon. Now, I did mention this before, but while I was out getting Din's Fire, I also grabbed some milk on the way, allowing me to heal up a total of 4 times to full health. But that didn't really matter against an immovable object, so I ended up dying, which I am killed by again after respawning. And then you thought that was it? Well, guess what? Here's another one again invisible. After dying a bunch of times, I'm finally able to make it to one of the rooms that we're going to need. Upon using Din's Fire to clear out the room, they spawn in one of the most powerful enemies, of course, like always, but this actually helped me out pretty well. Since he was a lot larger than normal, it was a lot easier for me to land hits on him while he couldn't hit me at all. This gave me the idea to just completely wail on him until he died, which I can't lie, this was pretty fun. But the fight wasn't over yet. There was actually still an invisible Stalfos in the room, so I had to completely fight this guy blind. This battle was a pretty tough one and a long fight, but I was able to win the battle after charging up a fully charged spin attack. After winning the battle, a chest spawns and we finally acquire the boomerang. Oh, and can you guess what happens after this? I bet you couldn't. No, why is this guy here? No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, stop. I can't. Like, that's such some f***ing bullshit. Yep, and goodbye. Okay. And he gets me. Like, you gotta be fuck. God damn it, I'm gonna die to this thing. Yep, there it is. Now, after that utter garbage, I'm able to make it to the next 2 rooms and complete them. Yep. This is why I got Din's Fire. Exactly why I got it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Stop. Ass room. How much do they kill this thing? Oh wait. There we go. We acquired the compass and then deal with some more actual nonsense. And okay. No. No! I'm trying to get in the door. Yup, and goodbye. I'm dead. Yep, this is so stupid, bro. He just doesn't let me leave. Like, I actually can't get the f away from him. And this guy, I swear to God, if he kills me. No, I'm not dealing with those little saucer dudes. Like, get them out of here. Why is he still here? The saucer guy is still here. Oh my god, like, this is so annoying. Like, I can't do anything. I actually can't do anything here. And finally, after all the blood, sweat, and tears, we finally find the spiritual stone. But our happiness is cut short with the most annoying little boss fight I have ever seen. Okay. And he's fucking super fast. That's gonna be great. Oh my god. I can't even get around him. Dude, this is so stupid. Oh my god. This is dumb as fuck. Oh, can you guess what I died to after this? And we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. Yep, nothing I could do. Literally nothing I could fucking do. What the f? Okay, he's 3 times the size. Like, he's like catching up to me. Like, this is so fucking retarded. Okay. And he's small as fuck. Okay, and he's fucking 5 times as fast. Like, how? Can I just hit him with fucking Deku nuts? I'm about to try that. Nope. Okay, he just does that. Okay. Bro, wait. I'm frozen, and I'm frozen, and I can't hit the thing up there because I'm frozen again. And now this guy's in the way. And I'm hit again, and I got eaten, and that's when I call it. After this, I took a few hour break, because I was clearly crashing out pretty bad. But when I came back, a miracle happened. Yes! Oh my god. Why is there... What the hell? I didn't know this guy spawns in here. After I was able to beat that sad excuse for a boss fight, I was able to make it to the final boss of this dungeon. The only thing I really have to say about this boss fight was that it was pretty lame and boring. Since he was way larger than normal, it was kind of hard to hit his weak spot, making this fight a lot longer than it should have been. But besides that, I was able to beat him on my first try. Can you stop fucking moving so much? Thank you. After defeating the boss, I am called useless after I quite literally did everything. Me and Ruto are then summoned by the goddesses of Hyrule, where I am then uncomfortably hit on. She then proposes to me with a Zora engagement ring, which is literally just a spiritual stone. But finally, after all the blood, sweat, and tears we put into these dungeons, we finally acquired the 3rd and final spiritual stone. After that, I was able to make a fairy finally spawn with my Deku stick. And now that we have all 3 spiritual stones, it's time to head to the Temple of Time. But before that, I am jumped by yet another Gerudo guard. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? Luckily, I had a fairy on me, so I was able to survive that utter nonsense. I am then completely jump scared by this random giant that decided to spawn on top of me, which I thought was super funny. We then arrive at Hyrule Field's bridge, where something weird happens. The sky begins to turn dark, and the bridge starts to lower. We then see Zelda and Impa riding on horseback away from the castle. Zelda throws something into the water, and then he shows up. The man who looked clearly evil before this happened. He questions me on where Zelda and Impa ran off to. Instead of telling him what he wants to know, I decide to scrap with him, but he easily overpowers us. He tells us that he is Ganondorf and that he will rule the world, and then he dips. After that little scuffle, I head straight for the Temple of Time. After arriving at the Temple of Time, I forgot to grab the ocarina that Zelda threw into the water, so I ran back and quickly grabbed that before heading back to the Temple of Time. Upon obtaining the Ocarina of Time, Zelda spiritually teaches me a melody that will open the door of time. With that, I make my way back to the Temple of Time and sing the song that Zelda taught me. Upon singing the song for the Door of Time, the 3 spiritual stones that we gathered sit on the pedestal in front of us, and the Door of Time begins to open. Finally, at long last, we are only 1 step away from obtaining the Master Sword. Upon seeing the Master Sword, I know I only have one thing left to do, and that's to pull the Master Sword.